teaspoon.
Sing for the Queen of Hearts. If she doesn't like it, it's a place you can't depart. Insanity is a stranger when you thought the road was straight. In the land of what if only the dreams you have are all barring late. But a stranger wouldn't be stranger if you could see him in yourself. You know him in an instant, 'cause I've seen him in myself.
And welcome back into KineticHiFi.com, Spreaker Web Radio. This is the Weekend Sit and Spin. I'm your host, Drew Howard. We're back on both places. I don't know what this is. It's crazy. Every time we take a break today, this computer's restarting. So for the next hour, we're just going to skip all the breaks. We're going to go break free for the next hour till noon. So 51 minutes. You got us here. Suburban Myth bringing us in. Welcome If Only, the first CD off their, or the first single, Freudian slip there, off their new CD by the same name. Welcome If Only. Check it out. Be out soon. Coming out in July. Very excited. You can head over to Reverb Nation. Got Welcome If Only, Words You Bleed. Great song there. Wild Wild, River of Life. You can head over to SoundCloud. They got some songs on there. Get the EP off of iTunes, Plastic Souls. It's got one of my favorites, Bang Bang, on it. Check it out. Great patriotic rock. Very intense music. Definitely check out Suburban Myth. And let's jump back into this. I wish Nick O'Kelly was here this morning because this is a story for him. It really is a story for him. It's coming out of Virginia. Well, high school made famous in the movie Remember the Titans, T.C. Williams.
Mr. Official, can I talk to you for a second?
Back off, Coach, if you want to stay in this game.
Story coming out of CBS DC here. That's not the clip I was looking for. Let's find the clip here. Here we go. Here's the clip I'm looking for.
Defense!
It's coming out of T.C. Williams High School in Virginia.
Don't you drift to the strong side.
Coach, they're calling a holding penalty on me every time.
Did I ask for your excuses? You want to act like a star? You better give me a star effort. Do you hear me? Forget about him. Alan, you're in. Come on. All right. Now, I don't want them to gain another yard. You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure that they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
This is coming out. 3 more high school students have been accused at T.C. Williams High School of taking inappropriate photos and videos of teachers. They took upskirt images of female teachers without the instructor's knowledge in 2 separate incidents in May. Alexandria police say a 15-year-old boy and a 17-year-old boy have been charged with unlawful photography of another, while a 17-year-old boy has been charged with distribution of obscene materials. So this time it's the students taking advantage of the teachers. Kind of a reversal from what we're seeing out of a lot of schools out there. But funny story, and I thought Nick would get a kick out of that one since it is the school from Remember the Titans. Obama's... We've been playing the clips all morning of Obama's whining about the GOP being against him and how they're trying to shut him down. Well, now this is coming out of the Washington Times that Obama ignores Boehner's lawsuit and going to keep taking actions on his own.
Blames Republicans for not passing his proposals, but now the public is blaming him.
More than half Americans
and this is the clip we played earlier. It's just
confidence in your ability to lead the country and get the job
just shows
done.
how touchy it is.
Disappointing.
I've been dealing with stuff like this since 2009.
How do you turn it around?
There have been a number of times where the punditry said, gosh, how do you turn it around? And what we do is stay focused on what matters and chip away at it and try to make progress. People have health care. The economy has gotten a lot better. What I do worry about is that right now we've got a Republican Party that seems to only care about saying no to me.
So he's gone around Congress, using the president's executive power and setting up a new high-stakes battle with Republicans.
You've got Speaker Boehner talking about suing you for executive actions that he says has crossed the line.
And this is where he says, well, he's not naming what actions he's suing me for. No, it's a laundry list, and we already ran down through it. The president did take aim at so-called GOP obstruction that, in his view, necessitated a go-alone strategy now is utilized by the White House, an approach that bypasses both the House and the Senate. Republicans in Congress keep blocking or voting down almost every serious idea. This year alone, they've said no to raising the minimum wage, no to fair tax, no to student loan reform, no to extending unemployment insurance. This obstruction keeps the system rigged for those at the top and rigged against the middle class. And as long as they insist on doing it, I'll keep taking actions on my own. You're rigged against the middle class. You've done more to destroy the middle class in your 6 years of presidency than has been done in the 100, well, we got a -6 off of it. So the 94 years before you came into power that the Federal Reserve did. You've destroyed the middle class. There is no middle class. There's the haves and the have-nots. Luxury item prices keep skyrocketing because of the rich becoming richer. There is no middle class, though. The poor are becoming poorer, and the middle class are becoming poor. Obamacare is a tax on the middle class. Quit telling me that you're out here fighting for the middle class, because you're not. You're fighting to destroy the middle class. You want people living in 200 square foot Agenda 21 coffin apartments. Admit it. Admit it. You hate seeing people that own their own small business, that are self-sufficient. You hate seeing people that have worked hard to get where they're at. Admit it. Just come out and admit it, you lying charlatan snake oil salesman. You sack of Barry Soetoro BS. Just come out and say it. Just be real. Just quit hiding behind this incompetency and quit hiding behind this that you're fighting for the middle class, because you're not. You're fighting against it. The middle class is dying, folks. That they hate you. If you're middle class out there, if you've built a business, if you have a couple $100,000 house and you have a nice car, a couple of them in the driveway, you got your family, your kids, and that you are despised by these globalists. You are their number one enemy. Self-sufficient, hardworking, loyal, trustworthy people are the enemy to this system. They don't want you to have a nice house. They don't want you to have nice cars. They don't want you to have 2 kids that you're involved in their lives, and you take them to sports practice and you take them to school and you go shopping and buy Legos and things like that and you play with them. They don't want that. They want you to have 5 kids that you can't afford, that the government benefits pay for, that you can't keep track of because you're in a single parent family. They don't want you to have a nice house. They want you to live in a government issued low income housing unit. And look at those. I mean, a lot of these HUD housing units now, they're giving them granite countertop, wood floors. They're making the HUD houses immaculate, and that's the wrong direction to go. I'm sorry, if you live in government housing, you should be humiliated by it. It should force you to change your ways, to work, to build. I'm sick and tired of this mentality that you can't build it in this country, that you can't build anything. You have to wait for somebody else to give you permission or do it for you. Go out there. That's what our founders did. Do you think Thomas Jefferson waited for somebody to give him permission to design and build Monticello? Do you really think that he sat back and Benjamin Franklin and George Washington drew up a document from the permit office giving him permission to build it? No. He said, this is a nice spot. It rises in alignment with the solstice. I can put my house here. I can build my dumbwaiter. I'm going to do it. And that's the mentality that we as American systems need to get back to. It's what we need to get back to. That's the way we need to go back, and not worry about what the mass media or the brainwashed population think. Don't be so afraid that if you speak out, you're going to be labeled a racist or a bigot or any other adjective to try to dissuade you from expressing your views. Our views and our opinions are one of the defining elements we have as humans, and to deny that, to hide it, to suffocate it, is absolutely an injustice. It's what's allowing the destruction of our society. When you give over your free will to the TV, to vaccines, to GMOs, to glyphosates, to hydrofluorosilicic acid, when you allow all of these things to take your freedom of choice away from you, then you get a cradle-to-grave system that's not going to have your best interests at heart. And that's a big point, folks, that you need to realize out there is nobody but you are going to have your best interests at heart. And this goes, at times even with family, close friends. They're not going to have your best interests at heart. You have to look out for yourself. I'm tired of so many people sitting around playing the victim role. You're only the victim if you choose to be. Obama was talking about how great the employment's been and the economy's growing. New study coming out of National Review says all employment growth since 2000 went to immigrants. According to a major new report from the Center of Immigration Studies, net employment growth in the United States since 2000 has gone entirely to immigrants, legal and illegal. Using data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, CIS scholars Stephen A. Kimura and Karen Ziegler found that there were 127,000 fewer working-age natives holding a job in the first quarter of 2014 than in 2000, while the number of immigrants with a job was 5.7 million above the 2000 level. So again, the Great Recession took jobs from Americans, gave them to foreigners. But that's great. That's strengthening our economy. That's strengthening our country. It's awesome. I lose my job. I have unlimited free time. I think that's actually one of the lines in that song, too. I think that's actually one of the things in there is I lost my job. Now I'm free to do it.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool.
Oh my gosh, I love this song. I can sing this for hours.
Always use a turn signal. Park between the lines. Yes. Drop off dry cleaning before noon. Read the headlines. Don't forget to smile. Always root for the local sports team.
Go sports team!
Always return a compliment. Hey, you look nice.
So do you.
Drink overpriced coffee.
Here you go. That's $37.
Awesome.
Oh, it's awesome. Everything's awesome. We don't have jobs. We don't have money. We don't have anything. We get to stand in line for 35 minutes at a food line waiting on people to use 4 WIC checks, but everything is awesome. I love this song. I can sing it for hours. Hey, let's go get some chicken wings. Let's go get some sausages, some croissants. When you say Harry, I go, ha, 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 ha. When you say the other guy, I go, watch the Lego Movie. We're not endorsed by it. They're not paying us. This is just a wholesome, quality, freedom-loving movie that tells you everything that Nick O'Kelly and myself have spent the last year and 8 months now since we've been on the air talking about. It wraps it up in an hour and 30 minutes and gives basically a year and 8 months of our lives in an hour and 30 minutes. It wraps it up. Same with Captain America 2. The predictive programming's out there. We see that with the terroristic threats. They're going to blow up the White House, and you get all of these police officers that go to White House down, and what was that other one that came out blowing up the White House or whatever with Gerard Butler? But, yeah, you get all these cops that go and they salivate, and you ask most cops out there, they're afraid of the average citizens, even though violence against cops is at an all-time low. If anything, you should be scared when you interact with a cop because violence from cops to citizens is at an all-time high. You're much more likely to be killed by a cop than you are to die in a car wreck, or even now that you're more likely to be killed by a cop than you are to die of cancer. You can look that up. There's studies out there that the cop violence, particularly in places like Albuquerque, New Mexico, they're not killing illegals down there. They're killing the citizens. Illegals are treated like kings. You get stomp on citizens' rights while illegals are treated like kings. That's the way it goes in Obama's America. Nancy Pelosi's going down there to meet with Jabba the Hutt wearing 6X underwear that's a yard across wide. Literally, these people, if they come here and we give them houses, they're not going to be able to fit through the doors. I'm not trying to be mean here, but it's just like that guy on Jerry Springer from 25 years ago that they had to cut out of his house. It's just like that. Literally, if you saw the size underwear, watch the Alex Jones clip. Look at the size underwear from it. These people are monsters. And there's going to be all the obesity-related health issues that come with it. Heart disease, osteoporosis, diabetes. Diabetes already is at a disproportionate rate against Hispanics. And you want to go ahead and bring overweight and obese Hispanics in here that are going to tax the medical system because you're giving them free Obamacare? You're telling them to show up at emergency rooms to get their insulin shots? But everything's awesome. Everything's cool because we have overpriced coffee. Yay! Ooh, where are my pants? Oh, bury your head in the sand, folks. Bury your head in the sand. Keep thinking everything is awesome. And you'll see how awesome it truly is when we're all enslaved, living in a FEMA camp. But hey, they'll have football on the TV. They'll keep your World Cup games on. FEMA camps will probably be sponsored by McDonald's, so you'll be able to eat your filet of fish while you're sitting there dying because it's good food to keep you docile. Oh. You know, we're going to have hydrofluorosilicic acid in the water. It already was in the water at Nazi camps. They put fluoride in the water. They fluoridated it to keep Jews under control and keep them docile, keep them in their nice little corrals, going to their death chambers.
Printed Wild Style and I will enter the Craggle room, place the thing on the other thing, and save the universe. Whoa. Hey, I didn't draw that. Is that me exploding?
I didn't mention that earlier. When you reunite the piece with the crackle, it might explode?
No, but it might not, right?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Attention, everybody. Incoming speaker delivery.
This is where they sing a robot version. Even the robots love that song. It tells you you're humanoid robots.
What?
That's what the movie's telling you.
Robot voice sounds an awful lot like a human voice.
Give me a break. I've never been a robot before.
What do you mean? You have always been a robot. No. Do not listen to her.
What are your robot serial numbers?
Everything is awesome.
No way. This is my jam.
This is also my jam.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is cool when you're part of it.
I don't want to sing the song. I'm not. Everything is awesome.
Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome. It's our dream.
Even the robots sit around and sing everything is awesome, so go ahead. Obama's going to pay your phone bill. Obama's going to pay your car payment. Obama's going to pay all your other stuff because everything is awesome. You don't need a job. You don't need to work. You don't need a house. You don't need a car. You don't need a family. Well, we've clearly seen from the Obama administration and mass media that you don't need God. They're doing everything they can to push that out of your lives. That's why it's great to see, Duck Dynasty still, after all the controversy, not backing down. They're still, going the same way they always done, faith, family, values, and that's really what's going to salvage this country. And across the board, so much of these issues that we're being balkanized and we're being polarized on, if we would just realize that at the end of the day, we all want the same things. We want our families to have a better life. We want to leave the world better. It doesn't matter, outside of fringe elements in religious groups, extremists there, most of your major religions still want to leave a better world for tomorrow. They still realize that we're the stewards of our Creator to put here to protect this place. Not to enslave into Agenda 21 people through Al Gore and carbon credits and climate change. Not that type of stewards of the earth, but leaving, nothing but footprints behind us. But instead, we've had big corporations and corporatocracies that are pushing plastics that are non-biodegradable, that are clogging up our land, our landfills, and our streams and rivers. They're pushing toxic chemicals that they're dumping in the water for no reason. Not even the fluoride that they're dumping in the water to keep us docile, but other just industrial chemicals that pure laziness. That it's laziness and greed. there's such thing as a cost of doing business. And instead of corporations taking that into account and trying to work harder to make more money, to sell more product, to build a better business, what they do is they look at cutting their bottom line. They look at cutting the cost of doing business, so they find any cheap way out, no matter how unethical it is. It goes back to Spider-Man capitalism. It's a point I've talked about numerous times on here. With great power comes great responsibility. And in capitalism, if you're a CEO, if you're a head of a business, if you're the president, if you're the creator of it, if it's your business, then you have to be excellent to your employees. You have to be responsible to them. That's why you see that in small businesses so much. Small business is really the key, because in a lot of times with small business, you get more of a family feel. People get connected to their employees. Their employees work harder for their bosses because you're connected. When you're in a corporation with 8 different bosses coming down your throat for everything you do wrong, I mean, it automatically think of Office Space with that. And it's a perfect analogy, even though it was kind of a small software company, but it's still a corporation. And, the 8 different bosses that come to him about the TPS reports and the mismanagement, the bringing in the micromanagers and the evaluists to evaluate their jobs, and just, I spend the shows here on Sit and Spin Radio Network always going off about how much I respect Matt Stone and Trey Parker. I think they're 2 of the greatest satirical voices of our generation. Probably 2 of the greatest satirical voices that have ever lived. They're going to go down in history as that. And if American history continues, there will be classes studying their satire. But also I think Mike Judge is on that list. I mean, he just beautiful stuff with Office Space, King of the Hill. Silicon Valley is a great show, folks. If you've seen it, check it out. It's on HBO. You can watch it on HBO Go now. The first season's over. But Silicon Valley is a great show that gets into the complete idiocracy. Idiocracy, another great one, but gets into the complete idiocracy of the software industry. Anyways, here we go. This is the clip I was looking for. This is what you say. Whenever you hear Obama say you can't build that, you didn't build that, you have the power inside you. This is what I was getting to earlier. I couldn't find this clip, but we got it now, so we'll go ahead and play it.
Thing pops into our heads. All of you have the ability inside of you to be a groundbreaker. And I mean literally. Break the ground. Peel up the pieces. Tear apart your walls. Build things only you could build. Defend yourselves. We need to fight back against President Business's plans to freeze us. Today will not be known as Taco Tuesday. It will be known as Freedom Friday. But still on a Tuesday.
You have the power to build. Let's build. That's what we have to do. And that's why it hurt me so much. And, 3 years later, I'm still extremely pissed off at Obama for saying you didn't build that. For his quotes with that. Because building is the only way we're going to try.
Yeah, I'm beginning to feel like.
And another video popping up here. This is out of NBC4 in New York. We had this article last week out of Infowars.com, and now we're seeing it continued on here in the lamestream media. But great white shark numbers are increasing in the Atlantic Ocean. This is a story that has me kind of excited. Down here in Charleston, past couple winters, we've had a great white shark that they tagged off of the coast of Massachusetts. It's wintered down here. And, I'd love to get out there in a boat, maybe go see it. They're beautiful creatures. It's always been one of my dreams to go to South Africa to Seal Island, where the great white sharks go airborne and eat seals. I've always wanted to go there and check that out. And I like sharks. I do. People fish for them all the time out here off of Folly. There's some places where they nurse around here, and sharks are a big common sight in the low country. You go out to Folly Beach, out to the pier, a lot of times people are pulling in sharks. So I'm not scared. I'm not going to be afraid to go swim in the ocean. Look, there's 11 shark attacks a year that happen. You have a better chance of dying from a bee sting than you do a shark attack, and you got a much better chance of dying for tyranny than you do. I mean, you get into the numbers, more people have died in history from a tyrannical government than any other thing, disease, just plagues, violent storms, you name it, anything, even just random acts of violence, heart disease. tyrannical governments kill more than heart disease. Tyrannical governments kill more than AIDS. They kill more than cancer. They kill more than all of those put together, the medical industry combined. Tyrannical governments kill more than anything. There's nothing that kills more than tyrannical governments except for maybe George R.R. Martin. That's the only thing that may kill more than tyrannical governments. Little Game of Thrones joke for you there, guys. If you've seen the bumper sticker, guns don't kill people, George R.R. Martin kills people, you get it. But for the third time in a week, great white sharks have been spotted off of New York, also off of New Jersey. It's the third in recent days. Hey, I'm excited. I'd love to see this. Keep our oceans safe. They're great predators, and I don't think people should be afraid. I think they should be enjoying it. Get out there, see animals in nature. It's like all the people that get scared about alligators around here in the Low Country. I think they're beautiful creatures. Absolutely amazing. They're dinosaurs. If you look at alligators, they're leftover dinosaurs, people. I mean, how can you not get excited about it? They're dinosaurs. It's you got to get excited about it. And the same with sharks. They're in a lot of ways leftover dinosaurs too, and it's amazing creatures. You look at nature and you can't help but be amazed at God's wonderfulness, and at least that's how I am when I look at nature. Yeah, I don't understand how anybody can look at nature and be an atheist, because anytime I look at anything, animals, scenery, Grand Canyon, the low country beauty here with the marshes and the sunset and Spanish moss and those type things, I stand in amazement of God's wonderfulness when I see that. And I don't know, that's just me. I'm digressing here as we get on and wrap up the show. This is a story we've talked on off and on for about a year, but it's going forward, it looks like. Funding has been approved for a suicide barrier at the Golden Gate Bridge. And, this makes me think of the book of Revelations here, where it talks about people will try to kill themselves and they can't. And we have to be such a protector. In San Francisco, the bastion of leftist, statist glory, they feel that, well, we know better than you, so you can't even kill yourself if you want to. We're not going to allow that. San Francisco's iconic Golden Gate Bridge moved a step closer to getting an oft-debated suicide barrier after bridge officials on Friday approved $76 million, with an M, $76 million in funding for a net system that would prevent people from jumping to their deaths. The Bridge District's Board of Directors voted unanimously in favor of funding a steel suicide net. Funding sources are $20 million in bridge toll revenue. So they're raising the toll for the bridge, $49 million in federal money and $7 million from the state. Just what the state of California needs to do is spend more money on the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, it is iconic, I guess. The new Planet of the Apes is getting ready to come out, and I think about the last one where Caesar led his army across it, and they had the big fight on the Golden Gate Bridge, and Magneto and X-Men The Last Stand moving it, and Full House, the opening scene where they drove across the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, it's iconic in film and TV history. So it's just, at this point, where are we stepping in? I'm told time and time again that you've got to support people's freedom of choice. And I do. As a libertarian, I do support your freedom of choice. Individually, I think you're free to do whatever you want to. When we speak out here against the homosexual agenda, we speak out against the proselytizing towards kids of it, the pushing it down their throats with the transgendered cartoon narrative, the Daddy's New Roommate book, and Susie's Two Moms, a book that Bill Hicks talked about 20 years ago. We that's what we're going against, is this underlying culture narrative to push that agenda. It's not the individual that we speak out against. I personally don't speak out against the individual because I believe in individuals' freedom of choice. And at the end of the day, you have the freedom of choice to kill yourself. That should be one of the absolute rock solid freedoms you have. It's yours. And then you always hear these bleeding heart leftists that want to come out there and say, well, suicide affects more than just the person that they're killing. And it's selfish, and we can't do that. We got to protect them. We got to put nets up that they'll jump into even if they don't want to. Again, this is banning the gun to try to stop a mass shooting. If you're serious about banning the guns, then why don't you go make some gun arrests in Chicago and you get the guns off the street there? I have to be worried that you're going to take my guns because Adam Lanza supposedly in this mythos fake created reality, as Sophia Smallstorm talks about seventh dimension out here from the reality. Sophia Smallstorm, it's an 1.5-hour documentary. It's on YouTube. It's not a documentary. It's her giving a presentation, but the Deconstructing the Reality one of Sandy Hook's beautiful. It talks about all the different media dimensions and things. Highly suggest checking it out. But the point I was getting to is I have to be worried about you taking my guns under the guise of Adam Lanza supposedly killing 20 kids, 6 adults. But meanwhile, 26 people die every night in Chicago because of gun violence, and nobody wants to stop that. It's a complete loss, folks. It's a complete loss. We're trying to take away people's free will and say we know better than you. Do I want people to kill themselves? No. Do I want people to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge to do it? No. Do I want to see California spend millions of dollars to put up a suicide net? No. Because at the end of the day, if people want to kill themselves, they're going to. You're not going to stop it. And spending millions and millions and millions of dollars is only going to be a waste. Why don't you put that money into something tangible? Why don't you put that money into small business loans? Interest-free, low-interest, small business loans. Give it out to people. Let them use that money to build a better future, a better economy, a better nation. Quit hiding your head in the sand. Quit rooting for the local sports team, or in this case, the national sports team with the World Cup. This is America, folks. We don't like soccer. We've historically not liked soccer. I personally like soccer. I've been to Battery games a lot before I got woke up. I used to do a sports show right here on KineticHiFi.com. We covered the Battery. I actually enjoyed going out there. I was a big fan of it. Again, I see it's a distraction. But at the same time, most Americans don't watch soccer. And for us to get this World Cup fever every 4 years, it's like the Olympics. Do you think people actually get that excited about figure skating? No, you get the national pride that swells up with it, and that's why every 4 years people can name figure skaters. Same with soccer, and Ann Coulter published an opinion piece out there this week talking about how the interest in soccer is just one of the destructions of America. You can check it out if you want to read it. It's on Drudge Report. It's on DrudgeReport.com. Let's get into this story real quick. And I'm going to cover this story a little bit more tomorrow on the Sunday morning Freedom Spin, the Drew Howard Show, 9 to 11, right here, KineticHiFi.com, SpreakerWebRadio.com. Not sure. Whoa, loud video coming from the Clarion Ledger. We're going to play this video actually here in a moment. For it. But Tea Party leader Mark Mayfield, who caused some controversy in Mississippi after taking some picture of Thad Cochran's bedridden wife in a nursing home to use against long-term Congressman Thad Cochran, has been found dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, it says. Let's go ahead. Let's play this video real quick right here and see what they're saying on here from the Clarion Ledger.
I'm Jimmy Gates, reporter for the Clarion Ledger newspaper. Today we have been covering the story of Ridgeland attorney Mark Mayfield, who was found dead today at his home in Ridgeland of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. This comes only days before Mayfield's conspiracy case in which he and 3 others are charged with allegedly trying to take a photo of U.S. Senator Thad Cochran's bedridden wife. This case may be presented to the grand jury as early as next week or in the coming weeks. in Madison County. Mayfield was a prominent attorney, also a Tea Party official here in Mississippi.
Bridgeland Police received a call this morning around 9 a.m. and went to the residence of Mr. Mayfield, and he was found with a gunshot wound to the head and was dead when they arrived. There's no foul play suspected, but they're continuing their investigation.
So there you have it, folks. Tea Party leader Mayfield dies in apparent suicide. Of course, this is calling back into the questions of, Vincent Foster, a lot of the political hit lists that you see with questionable suicides. So definitely need more to come out of it. A lot of the people closest to him are very shocked by this. They say it would be completely out of character, even with the pending criminal charges, things like that. Executions are coming. They're going to start killing Tea Party leaders. That's the next phase in what they're doing. It's the tyrannical takeover we've seen time and time again in other countries. We saw this in 1930s Germany. We saw it in Russia. We saw it in China. We saw it in Venezuela. We saw it in Cuba. We saw it in Laos or Cambodia. Excuse me. We've seen it time and time again throughout history. The tyrants come in. They follow a pattern. And the next phase in the pattern is death of the opposition. They're going to kill Tea Party leaders. They're probably going to kill us here at the Weekend Sit and Spin, and we're prepared to die for liberty. We know that that's on the table, and that's the case. And it's no greater honor than giving your life for liberty. I think back to Thomas Jefferson and his personal motto of resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. And our founders laid down their lives and fortunes to free this country. The least we can do is do the same to keep it free. And that's the way I look at it. But they're going to kill Rand Paul. They're going to kill Ron Paul. They're going to kill Alex Jones. They're going to kill probably Michael Savage. They're going to kill myself. Matt Drudge. He's a heat-seeking missile, and they're going to kill him. I mean, we saw last year they killed I'm drawing a blank now on his name. Michael Hastings. They killed him last year. They can kill any of us, and they're going to, folks. And that's how you know it's really going to ramp up. When they start killing the Liberty Movement, when they start killing Tea Party people like they just did in Mississippi, that's how you know that it's ramping up. And we're seeing that. We're seeing time and time again more people dying. They tried to tie the Bundy Ranch into a Slender Man Joker wannabe killer, mass killer thing. Anti-poverty law professor makes $200,000 teaching one class at public university. That's the joke of this. Did you see Chelsea Clinton this week come out with I just never really cared about money, even though I'm getting paid $600,000 an episode for MSNBC. Ha 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 ha. I'm getting paid more money than viewers. If every viewer sent in $1, they wouldn't be able to pay me. That's right, folks. If every viewer to MSNBC sent in $1, they would not be able to fund Hillary Clinton. Or not Hillary Clinton, Chelsea Clinton. They wouldn't be able to fund Hillary Clinton either. They wouldn't be able to fund any of their leftist agenda. Your kids aren't yours, and Al Sharpton and race baiting crap that's on MSNBC. I mean, every time I hear MSNBC, every time I'm flipping through and I see that on, or we play a clip on here from MSNBC, it's like that episode of South Park, the one where Stan becomes 10 years old and becomes cynical, and everything he hears sounds like fart noises. All popular music sounds like fart noises. All Rob Schneider movies look like fart noises. That's what it is. Not trying to get graphic or disgusting here on the air, but if you've watched South Park, you've seen that episode where everything Stan sees and hears is fart noises, and the president's a duck that farts out of his mouth, which isn't much different than Obama. Flies are always coming out of his mouth because it's filled with poo. Plain and simple, Obama is, I'm going to get kindergartner here on him, he's a poo mouth. He's got flies always coming out of it, and flies are drawn to poo. Another Atlantic City casino set to close, but the economy's doing so great. Economy's doing so great, but places are closing. Businesses are closing. And you know what's really destabilizing Iraq? This is coming from leftist internet site, theslate.com. You know what's really destabilizing Iraq? Not ISIS, not Obama, not our government support for these terrorist scumbags, these mass murdering militant morons. Doing some alliteration here. They're not destabilizing Iraq. The real threat to Iraq is climate change. That's right. Let's get NPR for a moment. We're going to talk about some climate change, and I'm going to talk really nice in a non-threatening metrosexual voice to let you know that I am an effeminate male. I have taken all the testosterone out of me, so you have no reason to be feared. I am the friendly guy you see that's not threatening, that you will appear on the Lifetime movie to support you. I'm drinking a frothy mocha latte here, and I'm going to listen to some Norwegian woodwind music because this is NPR, and climate change is the greatest threat out there. There is no such thing as terrorism. There is no such thing as ISIS. Al-Qaeda is as real as the Easter Bunny. Because the greatest threat in the world is climate change. Climate change. It's half man. It's half bear. And it's half pig. Be scared of climate change. 3 halves make 1 whole of a man-bear-pig. Man-bear-pig! Let's get that clip pulled up. Let's get some South Park here. I'm getting delirious this Saturday morning, folks. It's been a long show. Had issues with it, and got a filibuster going on here. Really just doing... Maybe that's what that'll be tomorrow. If we're having issues with the commercial breaks again tomorrow, it'll be Drew Howard Sit and Spin Radio 2-hour filibuster where I'm just going to keep on talking and won't take any breaks. But back to the story coming out of the Slate. Hot Zone. Is climate change destabilizing Iraq? This winter was not a good one for farmers in the Fertile Crescent. A punishing drought hit most of Syria and northern Iraq during what is normally the wettest time of the year. The mountains of eastern Turkey, which form the headwaters of the Tigris and Euphrates River, snow and rain were less than half than normal. So they're saying droughts because of global warming are what's causing the ISIS and Al-Qaeda to fight. Never mind the fact that we've been giving ISIS and Al-Qaeda money and weapons and supplies for 3 years to fight Assad, and now they're just going into Iraq at the behest of Saudi Arabia. This is all about giving the Middle East to Saudi Arabia. I feel like a broken record here, folks, because I say it week in and week out, but everything we're seeing happening in the Middle East is about destabilizing that region to put Saudi Arabia in control. 10 kingdoms worldwide, Saudi Arabia is one of them. Great Britain or Germany, toss up between the two. I think they're probably splitting the European kingdom. The United States, the North American kingdom, they're just digressing everything to where you're going to get a haves and a have-not class. South America is pretty much already at that level, but they're under the papacy. I think what you're going to see with the Jesuit Pope is South America is going to be given to the Vatican. Australia is already given to the globalists. They've built their massive readouts there, and don't think there's any doubt that China is going to rule Asia. So there's your controllers, folks. We'll do some South Islands things. You're going to see them tie those in. And that's going to be the last bastion. Probably the Caribbean will be the last bastion of freedom holdout if they don't crash the Cayman Islands, which a lot of the globalists have their hidden fiat currency in the Cayman Islands. So don't know if they're going to do that. But here we go. It's half man, half bear, half pig. I'm super cereal.
It is a creature which roams the earth alone. It is half man, half bear, and half pig. Some people say that Man-Bear-Pig isn't real. Well, I'm here to tell you now, Man-Bear-Pig is very real, and he most certainly exists. I'm cereal. Man-Bear-Pig doesn't care who you are or what you've done. Man-Bear-Pig simply wants to get you. I'm super cereal. But have no fear, because I am here to save you. And someday, when the world is rid of Man-Bear-Pig, everyone will say, "Thank you, Al Gore. You're super awesome." The end. Okay, thank you, Mr. Gore. Thank you, class. Excelsior!
One day we're going to thank Al Gore. We're going to thank Al Gore for saving us from the evils of climate change. We're going to thank Al Gore for creating the internet. I foresee a day where school children will wear the golden image of Al Gore on their lapel, and they will pledge allegiance to the flag of Gore and Blood. Look it up, folks. You can't make this up. His company that takes your carbon credits is named Blood and Gore. And you still don't think they're evil? The Vatican's Deep Space Telescope is named Lucifer. And they went way out of their way to get that acronym. Do you not think that's intentional, folks? Do you not think that this is set up? We are under the control of evil Satanists. I'm going to call a spade a spade. They're evil Satanists, worshiping at the feet of the Baphomet, worshiping the old Sumerian gods. That's who they play to. That's who they honor, and that's everything they do is to bring honor and respect to them. If you have, to quote Friday Night Lights, to quote Billy Bob Thornton's speech in there, if you have love in your hearts and clear eyes, if you're standing there with clear eyes and love in your hearts, then you are the enemy. You are the terrorist to this global corporation of banks and businesses that are taken over the controlling elected elite. There is a monopoly of global banking and corporate elitists that control our president, our Congress, that control Parliament, that control the UK, the EU. We are being ran by a handful of satanic, demon-worshipping Illuminati scumbags. And it's time that we stand up and we say no. Every one of us has the power in us to be a builder, to be a groundbreaker, as the Lego movie said. And it's time that we exercise that power. And a lot of us, it's atrophied. We haven't used that muscle. It's atrophied, and it's going to be hard. There'll be a pain period. You got to play through the pain. OTSS, only the strong survive. And it's time we get strong. If you're waiting there on your government benefits, if you're waiting on your WIC check, you are not strong. If you're growing a garden, if you're growing your own crops, if you're self-sufficient, if you're having cookouts for your neighbors, if you're building communities, then you are strong. And that's what it takes. Say no to the government. Ronald Reagan said the most scariest words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." And Obama says the government is our answer. Government makes everything awesome. Which do you follow? Which way of thinking do you subscribe to? Ask yourself that question and follow your answer. And as we always say, and it's been kind of the theme of this show, kept getting through to it, the way we turn this back, the way we take back our society, we take back our freedom, we take back our country, our way of life, is to remember this simple motto. It's easy words to hear, harder to live by. But if you just apply this to your life and everything you do, we will win for liberty. Tyranny cannot survive. This is the antidote. This is the decraggler for tyranny here.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes!
So there it is. Be excellent to each other. That's all you have to do is just be excellent to each other. You know, when I was a kid growing up, a small community in North Carolina, when we'd drive down the road, you saw people, even if you didn't know them, you waved at them. You built that sense of community. And it's time we bring that back. We bring that back, Low Country. The community wave. You see somebody walking down the street, throw your arm out the window, wave. You're walking down the street, you pass somebody, smile at them, wave, and say hello. Say good day. Get the tablet out of your face, put the iPhone back in your pocket, take the earbuds out, and live. That's how we beat tyranny. That's how we win. End of story. No doubt about it. You're tired of watching your country be destroyed. You're tired of watching your liberties be taken away. Well, then be excellent to each other. We beat them back with smiles. We beat them back with kindness. And we beat them back by being polite. This is Sit and Spin Radio. We'll be back tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, Freedom Spin, right here, 9 a.m. Catch us back next Saturday. Nick O'Kelly will be back in studio with me then. We can sit and spin. Always sitandspinradio.com at Spreaker.com/sit-and-spin-radio. Also the Facebook page, facebook.com/sit-and-spin-radio. Check us out there. We're there all the time. All of our archives are on there. This is the Weekend Sit and Spin. I'm Drew Howard. Fight for liberty and tyranny now.